Hi everybody, welcome to Healthline. I am Gregory Zarian. How was your Christmas? And for those of you that celebrate Orthodox Christmas, Snora Vorzubzununt Yerv Nordari on January 5th. So how was it? Did you get everything you asked for? Did you get things that you have to return? Did you get a gift receipt? And most importantly, were you with friends and family and loved ones? And I have a question. How much did you overeat? Did you pick up a big plate and pile it on? Instead of having one cookie, did you have 5? And here's another question. How many agreements did you make with your friends, with God, with yourself that said, okay, I'm going to have one more cookie, and next year I'm going to get healthy. Next year I'm going to go back to running and exercising and doing all these things. Raise your hand if you did that. Okay, well, my mission for this next half hour is to share with you all you need to know about getting your health back on track for this new year, 2015. What to do to stay healthy and what to look for from this new year on as to how to get your best health on. So I can't do all of this on my own, so I thought I'd go to one of the best at Glendale Venice Medical Center, Dr. Abel Ramos, certified family medical physician. How are you, doctor?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. It is going to be 2015 in a minute.
Yes.
And everyone is overindulged.
Yes.
Before we head out into our first break, what is the one thing you see that people do during the holidays?
You know, the problem is that it seems like we wait till the end of the year to overindulge. We overeat, overconsume alcohol, do some bad habits. And
bad habits such as?
Smoking,
too much drinking.
Too
much in excess. And I love Doctor, and I love that you said it's a problem. Why do you think in our minds there's this click that says, okay, after Thanksgiving or even after Halloween gets here and we start running out of the gate and just overdo? Why do you think that happens?
You know, it seems like we have a free pass. Society has told us you have a free pass to overindulge. And we get that free pass and we take it to the max. And obviously we overdo it. And I think it shows every time during January 1st when we weigh ourselves and we notice that we're 10 pounds over.
and what I love, though, is that we argue with our scale.
Well, we do, but scales don't lie.
Oh, okay. So as we head on into our first break, Dr. Abel Ramos just said scales don't lie. Here's my question, though. How many of you take off all your clothes and then get on that scale and it really doesn't shift? So when we come back, we're going to share with you how to get your health on. We're going to share with you how to not overdo in 2015, and we're also going to give you a few different words. I do not agree with the word diet, so I'm going to give you a different word, and also the word resolution. What does that do? It sets you up to fail. Get up, go get a glass of water, as I always invite you to, and come back and spend more time with Dr. Abel Ramos and I. And this is all about how to get your health on 2015. Don't go away. Welcome back to Healthline. Thank you for getting that glass of water and coming back and joining us. It's all about how to get your health on for 2015. Did you overconsume? Did you overindulge? Did you make those excuses that we all do and say, you know what, Christmas is here, I'm going to go. I'm going to have that extra cookie because, January 1st, which we all forget, it's New Year's, and then we have New Year's Day, and then we keep on making, I call it deals with the devil. We keep on making agreements with ourselves that we never commit to because we set ourselves up to fail. Joining us is family practice doctor here in Glendale at Glendale Venice Medical Center, Dr. Abel Ramos, who set us up beautifully before the break. He said, it's a problem. Doctor, recapping, what is the problem? Why do you think society sets us up so much to hit such a high peak to then ultimately we end up shaming ourselves and faulting ourselves for that extra weight, for that over-consuming? What do you think that is?
Well, I think, Greg, that it's our culture. It's what's norm nowadays. It's okay to grab a quick bite to eat and say, I won't mention any fast food specifically, but say a hamburger, a cheeseburger.
But we know who you are.
Right. To eat that cheeseburger on the run. It's okay to do that. And I think as a culture, we need to readjust that and rethink that and educate ourselves as to how we think and how we look at ourselves as a society.
What I love, though, is that you said before, and for those of you that are just joining us, Dr. Obama said that, when you get on a scale, scales don't lie. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, how did I put on all this weight? Well, we know how we put it on. When you drive through that drive-through, one soda is 220, 230 calories. That's up to that's almost close to 40 minutes on a treadmill. It's all wrong sugar. And a lot of people that do the drive-through, and sometimes you have to, are totally ignoring the healthy choices. They're going straight to that burger and that chicken sandwich, that French fry, that ends up adding so much weight to you.
Of course, like I said, Greg, we need to re-educate ourselves. That fast food, that food that's high in sugar, high in fat.
So
processed food.
let's start right there. When you say foods that are high in sugar, list them off for me.
Well, anything, essentially, I'll keep it simple.
Please.
Anything that's processed has sugar in it. If it comes in the barcode, with a barcode or in a box, it's processed. Odds are it has tons of sugar. Keep it simple. Vegetables, fruits, anything simple that you could easily grab a bite without opening up a package, odds are it's pretty good for you.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so for all of you that are going through the fast food line or going through the drive-through, you heard Dr. Ramos say that if it has a barcode, I love that. I never thought that. If it has a barcode, it's processed, which pretty much means that it's not super healthy for you.
Odds are it's not. There's a great marketing scheme out there to trick society into thinking that low fat is good, low sugar, low sodium is good, when in fact it's not. These are all gimmicks to try to get the consumer to buy certain products that have ingredients in them that aren't good for you. Sucrose, glucose, fructose, you name it. These are all
anything
sugars.
white. Anything that's pretty much white. It's the white fat.
White is usually indicator that it's not good for you.
One thing that we've talked about on Healthline is we had a great guest on here last year. Her name was Melissa Lands, and she has a great program called the Fresh 20.
Okay.
And it's all 20 fresh ingredients. And a lot, especially now during the holidays, consumers feel that, I'm going to go through drive-through, or I'm going to go pick this up, that it's saving time, and basically going through the drive-through, waiting, then getting home and setting up takes as much time as it would as if you went with your family, shopped on the outside of the market, shopped for all the healthy stuff,
right,
and went home and created a family meal as a family.
Right. Essentially, like I said before, we need to re-educate ourselves into how to fuel our body. Okay. Essentially, that's what we need to do. We need to stick to the basics. We need to get back to family gatherings and cook our foods as opposed to grabbing our foods from a package.
That has a barcode.
Essentially, odds are has a barcode.
So with the holidays here, and everyone is totally consuming a lot of barcodes.
Yes.
What do you say? So just say January 1st, I'm in your office and I've put on weight. What is your first point of action for me to get my health back on?
Right. I think the key is moderation. Don't deprive yourself of the foods that you enjoy, but moderate them.
What does that mean? So just say your hand is a cookie. What does moderation mean?
Well, if my hand's a cookie, eat 1/4 of the cookie. Don't eat the whole cookie. Okay. You can't deprive someone of a food that they're used to eating for the last 20, 30 years. It doesn't work that way. The human brain cannot gather that information and digest it appropriately. Eat 1/4 of the cookie, and everything in moderation. Decrease your servings. Don't completely remove that cookie because you want that cookie, but just eat 1/4 of it, for example, or one bite.
Isn't it true that craving lasts only 3 to 10 seconds?
Well,
Same thing with the cigarette.
Right. So if you take that bite, you remove that
urge
that you have for that sugar intake, and you move on to something healthier.
Because we don't eat until we're full, we eat until we're stuffed.
Unfortunately, that's our society nowadays. We eat until that signal has gone off 10 minutes ago. And unfortunately, we keep on consuming, keep on eating, and you see how our society is turning out.
Okay, so eat in moderation. One thing that we've also learned here on Healthline is to drink lots of water. So if you go up to a buffet line, or as you're getting ready to, step into spring, and there's a lot in summer, and there's a lot of expectation on, oh my gosh, I put on so much weight, and now I have to get into a bathing suit. We've talked about just having a glass of water after you've had one plate. And also a lot of water will curb your appetite.
Correct.
Don't overdo it because it can become unhealthy.
Correct.
What do you say to the person that's put on all of this holiday weight? How do you help them not shame themselves or fault themselves or feel like they've done something wrong? Because there's tons of excuses, doctor.
Right, there are. And, going back to the society norm, in our society, we've made it okay to overindulge in food. So let's go back to the basics and re-educate ourselves. Let's start with a healthy diet. Drinking plenty of water, like you mentioned.
How many glasses a day?
I would recommend 8 glasses per day.
Okay.
Everybody's different, obviously.
Okay.
But take that cup of water instead of that soda pop.
And that creates a new habit too.
It does, of course. Fruits and vegetables, obviously, low fat, low sugar. Avoid those heavy meats. Avoid the processed food.
And one thing too that a lot of people have to pay attention, as you were saying earlier, doctor, about families, is children learn from their parents. My mom would make dinner, my dad would come home from work, my parents would send us outside to play a little bit, be very active. What do you say to the family, because we are considered the most obese country in the world, correct. 75 to 80%. We are all about health and wellness and spinning and boot camps, yet we are the most obese.
Right.
What do you say to the families that come in that talk to you about, when I get home, I'm so tired that I pop my kid up in front of the computer and there's gaming and there's your iPad and there's your iPhone and there's all these things. What do you say to that family?
Well,
with mom and dad, that their BMI, body mass index weight, they're obviously overweight. They're both tired. How do you invite them to close everything to go outside and be physical and active?
Right. Well, we can make all the excuses in the world. But as a parent, we need to teach our children that sedentary lifestyles are not good. We need to go back to the family structure and actually get together as a family, cook those meals. And I don't mean sticking them in the microwave. I mean getting together, getting the basic ingredients, cooking them up, and having family time together. Get your kid out of that computer room, out of his room, and get him into a more active lifestyle, whether it be 30 minutes per day, some sort of activity, and spending more family time together. And I think that promotes a healthier lifestyle.
What do you say to the parents that say, oh my gosh, I don't have time?
Well, like I said, we could always make time. We have plenty of time, but we, for whatever reason, got into our head that technology nowadays takes over our life, whether it be television, whether it be our cell phone, computer, you name it. You could find 20, 25, 30 minutes per day. You just make it happen.
I love that. Okay, so you heard it from Dr. Ramos. Let go of the excuses. Come together as a family. So mom and dad, here's the deal. We know that you work really hard. We know that you have full-time jobs. We know that you're doing everything you can to supply for your family. However, family time, it's golden time. You don't want to wake up one day and go, oh my gosh, what happened? And especially with the holidays, just because the holidays have come to an end and a new year is starting, it doesn't mean that you can't create this amazing environment. Because if you teach your kids what health is like, they will pass it on to their friends. And there's nothing better than going outside and taking a few deep breaths in and out with your family members, and then you get to pass it on to your friends. When we come back, we're going to talk to Dr. Ramos about how to let go of the excuses, how to build a healthy habit, and how to get your exercise on, and what you need to know about you and your health and wellness, and what kind of exams and tests and immunizations you need for 2015. Don't go away. Welcome back to Healthline. Happy almost 2015. For those of you that are celebrating Christmas on January 5th, Nordari. It's all about getting your health on, and we as consumers overindulge during the holidays. Joining me is family practice doctor, Dr. Abel Ramos. And we were talking all about coming together again as a family, eating healthy, and paying attention to barcodes that add weight on. So, doctor, again, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And helping us get our health back on. A lot of people have the excuses, and as I was saying earlier, instead of the word diet or I want to lose weight, why would you want to pick up something that made you heavier and then healthier? I believe the word healthy lifestyle choices instead of the word diet, so you don't set yourself up to fall.
Of course, Gregory, you know that diets do not work. I mean, we've had years and years.
Epic fail.
Yes, they always fail. You need to change your lifestyle. You modify your lifestyle.
And does that go back to what you were saying earlier about doing things in moderation, having that little bit of a cookie, drinking more water, paying attention to the meats that you put into your body, eating more fruits and vegetables?
Correct. Making the healthy choices. Diet, exercise, avoiding any bad habits that are essentially going to decrease your life. Diet, exercise, drinking plenty of water, and the list goes on.
I want to go into exercise real quickly. A lot of people make this agreement. Okay, January 1st, I'm quitting smoking. How do you invite someone to? Because instead of the word, my resolution is I'm going to quit smoking and I'm going to work out, and I believe the word resolution is just like diet. So I say it's an invitation to try something else on.
Right. For those who have a smoking habit, we never recommend to quit cold turkey. Odds are it's not going to work. What we do recommend is tapering. If you're smoking 20 cigarettes per day, taper it down.
How do you taper, doctor? What do you say to your patients?
Well, if you're smoking 20 cigarettes per day, every week, remove 2 cigarettes, 18, 16. And then you get to a point where you're not smoking anything, you're chewing bubble gum.
And you also, one thing that people have to realize too, and same thing with drinking, and people that want to maybe realize that there's an addiction that they are dealing with, you have to have a willingness to really want to do something different.
Of course. We know that there's nothing wrong with taking 1 or 2 drinks. Obviously, with moderation, I like using that word. But overindulging in alcohol, it never leads to a good thing. For my patients who have an issue with alcohol, obviously, we would like for them to get the appropriate help. Depending on their dependency, we would provide them with the appropriate help, whether it be counseling sessions, there is medication to help them out. It all depends on the patient itself.
And also what's amazing about Glendale Adventist Medical Center too is they also have a great service called GADS, Glendale Adventist Alcohol and Drug Services, which is it's a rehabilitation center for, it's rehab for anybody that's suffering from a drug and chemical addiction. So there are options.
There are options, and it's all tailored depending on the patient's needs.
Once again, for any of you that are suffering from any type of chemical addiction, please go to www.glendaleadventistmedicalcenter.org/GADS and reach out to one of Healthline's favorite people, Scott Robertson, the director. You are not alone. Dr. Ramos, exercise. They say exercise when you're trying to lose weight is exercise and diet. Diet being 75 to 80% of it, and then exercise is the rest of 100%. What do you say to people that need to get their exercise on that, as you've said before, are couch potatoes? How do you invite them to get that back?
Right. Like I was saying, Greg, sedentary lifestyles are not good for the human body. For those patients who do not have an active lifestyle, I usually recommend to my patients to start slowly, twice per week, 30, 45 minutes per session.
When you say session, are you talking about getting up and walking, getting about running? What are you saying in regards to session?
Essentially aerobic exercise, walking, climbing, swimming, you name it. Get that heart pumping, get that blood flowing, those lymphatics moving. Slowly increase 2 sessions per week, 3 sessions, 4 or 5, up to 6 sessions per week. I think that's key. Slowly starting, especially for someone who doesn't have experience exercising, that's a key to slowly start and get into an active lifestyle.
To get your body pumping and get the blood moving. So here's the deal. You couch potatoes, you wake up one day and you're like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? As you look over and there's a pizza box and a cookie bag and pretzels and chips and everything in front of you, you know exactly how it happened. So let go of that excuse. Become accountable for what you put into your mouth, because I don't believe anybody's forcing you to eat all of that. As Dr. Ramos said, baby steps. Sit up, stand up, go outside, walk around the block. And what's really great, and we've talked a lot about this here on Healthline, is become accountable to somebody. Find a workout buddy, work out with someone, or check in with somebody that you can bookend. Hey, you know what, I did my run today, I did my swimming today. And be accountable, because one day turns into 2 days, turns into almost 2 weeks, which then creates a healthy habit and a healthy lifestyle. Don't go away for our wrap out. We're going to tell you what immunization shots you need for next year, 2015, and also some final thoughts from Dr. Ramos. Don't go away. Welcome back to our final segment of Healthline. So I have a question. Did you get up and go get a glass of water? Take a few deep breaths in and a few deep breaths out. For all of you that have said, oh, I want to get on a diet this new year, let go of the word diet and dive into lifestyle. For those of you that are going to say, my resolution is, just say I'm going to invite myself to try on something healthy. And here's the deal. When you say, oh, I want to lose weight, why did you find it anyways? Let it go and forget about it ever existing on your body. Joining us is Glendale Adventist's family practice doctor, Dr. Abel Ramos. Dr. Ramos, we have talked about barcodes. We've talked about exercise. One thing, too, for people that I want to share is minimum 150 minutes a week, just to get your blood pumping and doing something different. How many hours of sleep do you suggest?
You know, I think sleeping is a very, very important.
And people lose weight when they sleep.
They lose weight. Interestingly enough, they do. I would recommend at least 7 to 8 hours per day. 7 to 8 hours.
And in regards to people that suffer from insomnia, what is your comment about insomnia?
Well, there is medication out there. However, I recommend to try herbal methods. Try sleep modification, meaning do certain things before you actually try to go to sleep, whether it be exercising, taking a nice warm shower, drinking some tea.
Deep breaths.
Take deep breath, yoga.
And also yoga, and also sleeping is a hygiene. As parents teach their child to sleep, we need to teach our child to sleep. And for those of you that have TVs in your bedroom, get rid of the TV. It's a place for sleep. Doctor, 2015 is right here. Glendale Adventist Medical Center is celebrating 100 years of happy, healthy lifestyles and wellness.
Yes.
What do we need to know in regards to immunizations for this upcoming new year?
Well, you know, Greg, we need to have a relationship with our doctor. We need to do certain screenings, certain immunizations. I always recommend influenza on a yearly basis, prevents the influenza, very bad illness. I recommend TD every 10 years. I recommend to get appropriate screening. Anybody over 50 that need either a colonoscopy or stool sample testing, make sure you get those breast exams for the females.
And self-exam is very key.
Self-examination, it takes about 5 minutes during the shower, and it's free of charge.
And we've talked about this. You raise your arm, you check all the way around here. And same thing, I'm an advocate for men and their health. Out of every 100 new breast cancer diagnoses, up to 1 to 2 are men. So men are not exempt from that.
Correct.
And also men in prostate.
You know, prostate cancer, we don't typically recommend a PSA testing anymore. However, we do recommend rectal examination from your physician, anybody 50 and older, African Americans a few years earlier. I cannot forget also about for females to get their pap smear. Any female over the age of 21 needs to have a pap smear every 3 years until the age of 65.
And also everyone needs to find a family doctor. And any suggestions or thoughts for young kids and teens?
You know, obviously they need to get immunizations as well, vaccinations. Gardasil for males and females now.
For HPV?
HPV prevents cervical cancer. Very appropriate.
Doctor, we are getting ready to wrap out. It's a new year, and there's amazing things right around the corner. What is your healthy invitation to all of us here at Healthline?
You know, don't make strict New Year's resolutions. They do not work. Like I said, moderation. You mentioned baby steps. You know, make your goals very realistic and start early. Don't wait till January 1st. Start now.
Doctor, it was an absolute pleasure. So you heard it from Dr. Abel Ramos. Be tender with yourself. It's a new year. It's an exciting time. What happened to you this year that you don't want to take with you into 2015? We have so much more control over all of this, and we give so much power to all of that. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Become focused, become clear. You are a human being with human feelings, and you are doing the absolute best that you can. So give yourself a break. Let go of excuses. It takes up to 10 days to 2 weeks to create a new habit. Break some habits that aren't working for you. Your health and your wellness is a choice. From all of us here at Healthline, we wish you a happy and healthy new year. And as I say here, every time you visit us on Healthline, remember, the most important conversation you're going to have is about you and your health. So why not have one right now? Have a great new year. We will see you 2015. Take care.